Whew. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think we're live. Is it working? YouTube? Check. Check, check, check. All good? Are we hearing me alright? Should be able to hear me alright. Jimmy Fire Dragon, welcome in, mate. Long time no stream, I know, right? Crazy, eh? Yeah, welcome. Welcome in. It's the 1st of October. It is Techtober. It's Pixel event week coming up. And hey, Slayer. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the month. I was wanting to do a Granite Tech Talk last week. I was going to do it direct from EGX, but I had some technical issues. So yeah, I had a really good couple of weeks. Last weekend in particular, I was at EGX for the whole weekend, 4 days. And yeah, obviously there for more in a gaming capacity, but it was good to try out different cameras on the phones that I was using, and also toy around with some other people's phones as well. So that was good. How are you doing, Slay? I'm good, man. Jimmy, I'm good as well, mate. I was having fun in TK stream before this, as you know, so I'm having a bit of a drink. I feel like a drink tonight. It's getting started because we're going to be I'm going to be streaming on my gaming channel from 9 o'clock. So just under an hour and a half. That's on Air Guys TV. If anybody's interested in gaming stuff, Slayer knows where it's at. And yeah, we're playing some PUBG. Got to get squad games going. And we're having drinks, so it's going to be a good time. But we're here for tech. So let's talk tech, eh? Let's talk tech. Let's talk tech. We're going to talk about a few things because you can probably tell my voice is a little bit weird because I'm on the tail end of a cold still. So apologies if I find it sound a little bit croaky, let's say. Obviously we've got Pixel 7 to talk about. We don't know all of the deets yet, but there's been plenty of leaks. There's plenty to talk about. And yeah, we're going to be going over that. Tensor 2 as well, Gen 2. Lots of talk on Twitter from people saying that it's going to be terrible, which we've seen the leaked benchmarks and the leaked specs in the sense that the CPU, obviously, staying pretty similar, GPU increase, that sort of stuff. We'll go over that a bit more in detail later. Stadia is dead. It's dead. RIP. Is Pixel next? Well, we'll talk about that. And obviously, I want to talk a little bit more about this bad boy, the Xperia 1 Mark IV, and how much I like this phone. Oh, and also, I mean, I'm probably not going to talk about it much, but I did receive this. Camera don't like it too much. You know, it's all right, isn't it? It's all right. But guys, if you haven't already, please drop a like on the stream. Would really appreciate that. Adam, welcome in. Greg, welcome in. All of the usual people popping in. It's good to see you. Greg. It's not mine. Just the Pro, Jimmy. Just the Pro. I thought I was receiving a Pro Max, and I got just the Pro. Which I bought a case for the Pro Max. So, yeah. Rip me. So, as you all know, we've got the Pixel event this coming week. I'm very excited, obviously. I'm so excited that I've got a Google branded pen now. How about that? I had a notebook. You can see the notebook right there. You can see the Google logo. Yeah. Cheers, Blam. Now, I think we all sort of know what's coming with this Pixel event. We're talking Pixel 7s. We've got Pixel Watch. I imagine Pixel Tablet. And whatever else may come along. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll get the fabled Pixel Foldable. But we'll see. Hey, Barry, no worries, mate. I appreciate that, though, dude. I appreciate that lurk. Legend. October 6th, let's go. Oh my God, voice went. I want a bit of alcohol, so bear with, bear with. So, Pixel 7. Now, I am fully expecting, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well, I'm fully expecting there to be a lot of negative talk around Pixel 7. We get it every year, we all know this, and I think the focus is going to be on Tensor Gen 2. So, let's just talk a little bit about Tensor Gen 2. I mean, we don't need to talk loads about it. We had the leaks about it. We don't know fully what the performance is like, but we've seen leaked specs and what they're doing with the SoC, and so far it looks like that they're dropping the node. I think it's from 5 nanometers to, not millimeters, Jesus, that'd be crazy. 5 millimeters. 5 nanometers down to 4 nanometers. Same CPU cores, so basically similar performance, slightly better energy efficiency. That's what we'd expect. And apparently they're bumping up the GPU, so we'll get better GPU performance. I think that is a very, very good play. I like that. I like that a lot. Because who here has a Pixel 6 or, 6A and has an issue with performance? I don't. I never have. In fact, I found the Pixels to work better than a lot of other phones with more powerful SoCs. Look at Barry waving to everybody when he's driving. Mate, hands on the wheel. I'm just joking. CPU performance is not an issue. And I'm seeing a lot of talk from people complaining that the Pixel's not going to be there on CPU performance. It's not going to be there on GPU or machine learning or AI, whatever. But a lot of the people that... Stop, well, I knew it was. I knew it's fine. I knew that. A lot of people are saying things about this chipset that just make no sense. People keep demanding more and more power for no reason. Like, who needs more power than what's in a Pixel 6? In fact, a Pixel 6 is overkill for the majority of people. Total overkill. And sure, the benchmarks don't show that it performs well against certain chipsets out there, but benchmarks don't show everything, and you need that real-world performance for that. So I would point you over to Juan Carlos Bagnell's channel, Some Gadget Guy. Just go over there, check out those videos. I know a lot of you guys already watch his stuff anyway. But he had a very good video recently showing the performance of the Tensor versus, say, an 8 Gen 1 and some other phones. I think there was a Dimensity in there as well. And in a bunch of tasks, it was better than a lot of them. Like, it was better than the majority in some of the tests, and sort of level pegging on a number of things as well. And I actually think that is very impressive. And that comes down to the design of the SoC and what Google's trying to do with it. That benchmarks, normal benchmarks, and I'm talking like benchmarking apps when you're running Cinebench and whatever else. These apps don't show the actual performance of a phone, of an SoC, because you can't do it that way. It's the same when it comes to desktop SoCs. If they're designed a certain way, the benchmarks don't always show things correctly. And I think you'll see things with, like, when Alder Lake first came out, the 12th gen Intel stuff, a lot of them didn't know how to cope. Some of the benchmarks didn't know how to cope with the efficiency cores, so they got a little bit confused. And it's like that with the Tensor SoC. It's a different design. It's designed to do things differently. It's got a different pipeline, and so it has different strengths, and regular benchmarks can't show that. So that's why Pixel is so good for all this machine learning stuff, for all of the features that Pixel has that other phones do, but can't do as well. And they're the benefits of what Tensor gives. Google decided to make Tensor in a way that allowed them to make the Pixel into a true smartphone. I don't think there's many true smartphones out there. Like, the Pixel is seriously clever. It's very clever. And the fact you can do a lot of it on the chip and not just having to have an internet connection is absolutely stellar. Like, it's so good. And you can get all these really powerful chips that, yeah, in brute force, they're more powerful. But they can't do what the Tensor does. So you have this narrative from people that the Tensor's just not strong enough, when in fact it is. But people keep demanding more and more performance, and they don't use it. So I'm kind of over the whole more power sort of narrative, and I want to see the real world stuff. And if anybody just comes at me with Cinebench scores or certain games or whatever else, I just don't see it as a legitimate argument. I don't know what you guys think on that, but what we got? I've missed loads of comments. I apologize. We've got everybody in here. It's awesome. .6A6 and 6 Pro, no issues with that performance, says Barry Johnson. Damn right. Damn right. They're so good. Like, how smooth does a Pixel feel compared to most Android phones? I mean, if you compare it to, say compared to a Samsung S22 Plus or S22 Ultra even, on a Snapdragon, not an Exynos. See how that feels compared to a Pixel 6 Pro. And I bet you the Pixel feels smoother. I'm sure it would. Absolutely sure it would. What's your favourite colour at a stoplight, Barry, says Greg. Jimmy, thank you very much for the tag and the comment on Twitter. Appreciate that. Legend. Slayer is here for the first time learning. It's my first time here. Appreciate you, man. I really do appreciate you popping in. It's very good of you. Jimmy, yeah, fingers crossed Oppo and OP do the same so they don't need the co-processor, the Mara Silicon X, so they could just need the one chip for photos, extra light gaming, etc. I think the thing is, I think the co-processors are actually worth having because they do speed up a lot of things that just having something like the Tensor doesn't do. The Tensor is actually, as far as I could tell, it took longer with the processing of photos afterwards compared to, say, a Pixel 4 XL, which obviously has the neural core that the Pixels had for some time. And that's partly because they got rid of the co-processor. I'd actually like to see a Tensor with a co-processor. Now imagine how good that could be. Oh yeah, that's what I'd like to see. But I think they're a necessity for some, especially when you're using the Snapdragon stuff. I'm sure the Snapdragons can handle it perfectly fine, but having that co-processor in there to handle a bunch of other things is good to have. It's good to have. You only have to look at like what the like what Vivo are doing with theirs. Like it's really, really good. Really, really good. But iPhone silicon is better. I can hear the iPhone users already. Yeah, I agree. iPhone for life. iPhone for life. That's right, Adam. That's right. I said it. Hey, Apple Silicon's great. But let's not pretend like, it doesn't have the same issues as other phones and that Apple even do anything to make use of that power. I mean, look at the iPhone 12. First 5G iPhone. Battery life was terrible. So you had to then go to the 13s, which had increased battery sizes. The battery life was okay again. But they also gave you a an SoC that was slightly slower than the Pro versions. And now we go to the iPhone 14s, and they're giving you last year's 13 Pro chip, probably because they didn't sell as many as they'd want, and it's probably easier on chip availability. And then you've got the latest, the A16, I think it is, and that's not really that much of an increase over the A15. So, and the fact is, Apple don't really make use of this power. They don't. It's kind of crazy. Whereas I think a lot of Android phones, when they do get the extra power, they do make use of it. They put it into camera features and things. I mean, look at the Sony. This Xperia 1.4. It's got an 8 Gen 1, which, you know, is a bit toasty because it's fabricated on Samsung's node, whatever. But it's powerful, and Sony made use of it. They put 4K 120 on all of those rear sensors. Like 4K 120 video recording, which is insane. It's insane. And it's so good. And you've also got the seamless zoom feature, which lets you switch between all of the camera lenses and keeps them all on at the same time. That gets toasty. That gets toasty. Slayer says, I don't know what Oppo I have, but I have an Oppo. You don't know which one it is? Fair enough. You could always try and find it. It'd be in the About section of your phone, I imagine. But they're more battery intensive, though, aren't they? I think you're on about the co-processors. I don't think they actually do very much in terms of battery. I think they tend to only spin up when they're actually needed, or they can take off a load from the actual SoC. So something like the Pixel would be it'd probably benefit quite a lot, because I imagine some of the low-end tasks that don't require the full tensor to spin up would be better suited to having the co-processor and actually save battery life. Because I think one of the problems with the tensor is it runs pretty fast all the time. There's no way to really slow it down unless you put on like battery saver or something like that. Whereas a lot of other Android phones now have different settings, so you have more like a standard mode and then a full beans mode, like you see on Samsung's, Oppo's, whatever else. Pixel could really do with that. I think Juan mentioned it in his write-up as well, that we don't need that level of power all the time. It'd be nice to have decent performance when you're just doing the basic things, and then to be able to bump it up when you want to do something more intense, and that way you get in the battery life saving instead of having it go full whack all the time, running a bit warm. So yeah, piss off, lol. Mate, I'm iPhone now. iPhone for life. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly me. That's it. I've just literally changed the channel to being focused primarily on Pixel, but I think it's time that we just admit it and just say that iPhone is superior, and we all need to bow to our Apple overlords, bow at the feet of Tim Cook. It's just how it is, I'm afraid. It's just how it is. No, Dan secretly loves Pixel. Greg, I don't think it's a secret at this point, mate. I don't think it's a secret. It does run warm. Barry's right. It runs warm. It runs warm. Jimmy. I got using one for the first time yesterday for a bit. It was an A16, as my impressions were very good. I think it has a MediaTek chip. I think the G35. Yeah, I would like to use an Oppo. I've not used an Oppo yet, but I imagine I'll get a chance at some stage. Eventually. So what are we expecting to see from this Pixel event? What are you guys looking forward to seeing? Because I'm more interested in the software side of things, because I think the 7 and 7 Pro are going to be very iterative over the 6 and 6 Pro. I think if you've got a 6 and 6 Pro, don't upgrade. Unless you have some sort of weird radio issue and you're getting bad battery life, don't upgrade, because the 6 and 6 Pro are still absolutely fabulous. The good news is apparently the price is staying about the same. I think there's some of the prices leaked on some sites, I think Amazon, and the 7 is staying at $599. So I also think that we're going to get basically the same camera hardware. I think it's going to stay the same, which I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think is a bad thing. Google have shown in the past, since like the Pixel 2 XL onwards, that we didn't need bigger and better camera sensors every single year. They just needed to optimize the software for it. And now we switched to the Pixel 6 with that bigger 50 megapixel sensor. And I actually think the photography went backwards a little bit in some respects. I felt like it made things too bright. So when I compared it to Pixel 6 to the Pixel 4 XL, I found that I like the Pixel 4 XL photos more, to be honest. Here we go, look. September is here all aboard the Pixel train. Whoop, whoop. Damn right, sir. Damn right. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well, man. So yeah, I think Google has got a lot of optimization to be doing with these lenses, these sensors, and I think changing them would be a bad idea. I think you just need to get the software better. That's all they need to do. And if they can improve the software, people will be happy. And don't forget, improvements to the software on a Pixel 7 are also going to be improvements to the software on a Pixel 6. So, you know, this is an iPhone. The previous phones get supported beyond just the operating system. So with this being grounded tech talk, I have a techie question. I need a new DSLR. What does anyone recommend? Budget is whatever. Oh, well, you're on about a mirrorless, right? Rather than a full-blown DSLR. I mean, the go-to stuff at the minute seems to be Sony's, especially for video, because the autofocus is amazing. It seems to be the go-to when it comes to YouTube stuff, anyway. But it comes down to whether you're getting it for photography or video. I mean, I'm not massively into cameras, so I don't actually know that much about cameras. But yeah, it depends on your budget whether you want to go, you know, APS-C or go full frame, whatever you want to do on that front. But I think for me, if I was getting a camera now, I've seen some people buying the new Sony. I can't remember what it's called, FX30 or something like that. It looks really freaking cool. But when it comes to actual photography, I really do like the output from a Lumix. Like even video as well, to be honest. I really like the output from a Lumix. Like something like the S5. Really nice. Oppo A72. Oppo A72. It's more of a mid-range. It's a couple of years old then, isn't it? I won't name any names, but I saw shade thrown at the 6A for having the same camera sensors as the Pixel 2 XL. You know, it's funny. It's funny, Septian, that people criticize the hardware and just don't really acknowledge what they can actually do with that hardware. Well, let's face it, it's a budget. It's a mid-range phone, right? It's a mid-range phone. Find me a phone in that same price range that can take photos like a Pixel 6a. It won't happen. It won't happen. I guarantee it. The only thing you're going to find in that price range is other Pixels. And nothing else comes close. I think the only way you get close is once you get up to the the S22 sort of price bracket, and even then, I think the Pixel would still hold its own against an S22 quite easily, the Pixel 6a. So I do get very confused when people. It's the same argument when it comes to like Tensor, because they'll look at like the hardware and the numbers and the benchmarks and things, and they'll be like, oh, it's nowhere near, it's crap, it's rubbish. But no, it's actually not. So yeah, it's a funny one. It's a funny one. The 6A is fantastic, by the way. If anybody is looking to buy a phone between £300 and £400 slash dollars, the 6A is immense, genuinely. But oh no, 60 hertz screen, no, my eyes are falling out. Well, deal with it. Adam is leaning towards photography. Mm. It's a difficult one, Adam. I when it comes to photography, I'm not really sure. I don't really know a lot about cameras and photography. My photography is all done with smartphones because I just find them more convenient, like most people. When it comes to cameras, when it comes to video, I'd be leaning towards Sony slash Panasonic. That's my preference, let's say. But yeah, whatever you fancy, mate. I mean, there's probably quite a few channels out there that'll be able to give you some good advice on that. I don't really know any of them though. That's the problem. But the iPhone does a better job at 60 hertz. The animations are just smoother. Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, they used to be. And I've said that before. I actually tweeted that a couple of years back. And I did get stick from the Android crowd because I said the 60 hertz on the iPhone feels a lot better than 60 hertz on anything on Android. And it did, sort of, until I used like an Xperia 1, 2. I think that was when I thought, oh, actually, no, it's all right. But then the Xperias run really, really sort of stock Android for the most part. So I did find the iPhone to be better on 60 hertz. But now, after using the Pixel 6a, I do not think that's the case. There's something about a Pixel and that experience and the navigation through the software and things. It just feels a step ahead of other things, other than this, right? This also feels very similar in how it works to a Pixel because it keeps that sort of more stock feel to it rather than just dumping on a really heavy skin like Samsung. So, yeah, at 60 hertz now, the 6A with Tensor feels fantastic. I think it feels really good. So I'm definitely not on that whole argument anymore of iPhone 60 hertz feels better. iPhones just shouldn't be on 60 hertz anymore unless it's an SE, to be frank. But, they could have just done 90 hertz on the 14. That would have been practical and fair to consumers. But hey, why not just put 60 hertz in there and just charge more? They won't notice, the dum-dums. Unreal. Unreal. Google Cam works great for you. Well, if you're using Google Cam on your OnePlus, I'm assuming your OnePlus 7 Pro or 8. 8. Is it an 8? I think it's an 8. So yeah, in terms of the Pixel 7, I'm waiting to see what it's like. I'm hoping to get hold of a Pixel 7 and a Pixel 7 Pro, at least for a month. I'm going to be getting a Pixel 6 Pro this week, and I'm going to be getting a Pixel 4 XL in the next couple of weeks as well, all being well. So, yeah. 7's going to be good. 7 Pro is going to be good. But will they really be much different to the 6 and 6 Pro? I think that's what we need to wait and see. Software features are going to come down to the 6 and 6 Pro as well. So, you know, I think if you're on a 6 or 6 Pro and you're happy, I don't think you're going to need to upgrade at all. Okay, I must go. Oh, no worries, Greg. Take it easy, sir. I appreciate you stopping in, man. It's always good to see you. Goodbye to you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Greg's a legend. He always tries to support, doesn't he? Good man. Good man. So, the other thing from the Pixel event. Oh, we got Sam in. Hello, Sam. How you doing, sir? The other thing from the Pixel event is that we're going to be getting the Pixel Watch, which is obviously being revealed, and we've had a bunch of... My mate Dan. I've not looked into the Pixel Watch that much, and simply because I am not massive on these watches. I'm not massive on smartwatches, I should say. I'm massive on watches, normal watches, but not smartwatches. I've got a Galaxy Watch 4, as some of you know, and I've not really had a great experience with it. So I'm reluctant to spend money on another watch that costs twice as much. Oh, the cold's hitting me. How are we doing, Sam? So, saw the images released today. I like the sort of mesh bands that they've got. Those bands look really cool, and actually, it kind of made me want one. But no, I'm not doing that because I'm getting a cheap Pixel 6 Pro instead. So, yeah, the watch looks really good. I'm not really keen on getting something that's got a 1 day battery life, which is looking like that's what it has. But it will have all the Fitbit integration. Apparently, it's going to have 6 months of the Fitbit stuff thing, premium thing, whatever it's called. So that'll be a benefit to a lot of people. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. I'm not really keen on the whole sort of curved face either, but we'll see what turns out with that. The price is looking a bit too much for me. If the event is on October 12th, I will be watching. This is my daughter's 23rd. I think it's week before. I think we're on the 6th. Is it the 6th? Somebody said the date earlier. I think Barry smashed it out. Pretty sure he did. There you go. October 6th. So you should be fine, Sam. Should be good. You know what? I'm going to have to take this hoodie off because I am absolutely melting. Don't look. That's better. That's better. Surface event is on the 12th. Ooh. Well, we streamed the Surface event last time round, so I think I might stream that again. In the off chance we get a Duo 3 that's just not expected and they've managed to keep it completely quiet this time. Because Surface used to be really good at keeping things quiet. Like, we didn't expect a lot when it came to, like, Duo 2, remember? So who knows? We'll see what happens. I'd love a Duo. If I ever get any spare cash, I'm getting a Duo. And a V60. Which I know Septin will be like, yeah, V60. Yeah. Oh, but Sam, just wanted to say as well, man, the Twitter space that you were part of, that was really cool. I enjoyed it. I don't get a chance to tune in on Friday nights that often. It's really good, and I managed to catch up with the. I nearly said across the podcast, then. I nearly said it. I nearly said it. Wow, wow. No, my tech project. No, my tech project. I caught up with that the other day, and yeah, that was a good. That was a good show. Can't wait. He can't wait to get his V60 on Monday. Ooh, Monday. Monday. Awesome, man. I do want to get a V60. I want that DAC, you know? I want to be able to use it with my my Brilliums. So I think we saw leaks, didn't we, of the Pixel 7 price? 599, which is the same as the Pixel 6. So I imagine the Pro is probably going to stay the same price as well, unless they add some sort of other features hardware to that. What was I going to say? So also in relation to the Tensor 2, there's a lot of people that keep saying as well that it needs to be fabricated by TSMC instead of Samsung because Samsung keep making everything bad. Well, I do wonder if these people would also be happy to pay an extra $200 to $300 / pounds the devices once they are made on TSMC. It would cost a hell of a lot more. Like Google are going to be getting these SoCs from Samsung's fabs at such a low price, that it would just be insane for them to actually go to TSMC. Like the price would just jump straight up. It'd be back to like how Pixels used to be. And I think part of the success of Pixel 6 is keeping that price down and, you know, competing with phones in those price brackets much more strongly. That's how I see it. Like, can you imagine imagine having a Pixel 6a that costs another 200 on top. So you're talking the 6a starting at the price that the 6 did. It just won't work. It just won't work. I think a lot of people are very unrealistic when they make demands of these things. You know, the Google's gone with Samsung for a reason. They are not stupid. They've got the supply because nobody else is getting it through Samsung. They've got a really good price, and it does the job. It does the job. Pixel 6 with Tensor 1 was great. Tensor 1 was probably like a year overdue, which, you know, one of those things. But that came down to, you know, the pandemic and everything else. And I think they're in a really good position now because if Samsung do improve things further, and I imagine Samsung will want to improve things further going forward, then Google are going to really benefit from that. That's how I see it. But speaking of Google, we had some bad news this week. I say this week, in the last couple of days. Stadia. Google Stadia. Stadia's dead. R.I.P. Stadia. Another product that Google has sacrificed. No, stop talking to me, Xperia. I didn't want to talk to Google. No. It's a shame because I think Stadia was a really, really interesting product and there was a hell of a lot of potential there. But like my old favourite Microsoft, didn't know how to market it, just managed it very, very poorly, and yeah, sacked it off. It's a real shame. I genuinely think it is. I was actually looking at jumping in with Stadia soon. I was actually going to be making it a core part of my gaming channel. and to try and cross-pollinate. So I would have had my Air Guys TV, which would have been shooters and things, but also like cloud gaming with Stadia and whatever else. And obviously, Grounded Tech's going to be pixel focused. So yeah, I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of not happy about it, even though I wasn't one of the people that was playing on Stadia. I can't imagine how people that invested in it feel, especially those people that the people that built channels on it and built podcasts and whatever else around it. And we know a couple of those people through Twitter. You know, it's sad when these things happen, and you know, I've been on the receiving end of that. I know Sam has, and whoever else was invested in Windows Phone. Me myself, when I was game streaming, I streamed on Mixer. I was a partner on Mixer. That was Microsoft owned. They scrapped it, and I was left with nothing after that. And you know, these companies they scrap things without realizing what it is doing to their brand, and it does make you question whether they will do that with other brands within their ecosystem. So it does make you, you know, I've seen questions on Twitter the last couple of days of people saying, "Well, how long until Pixel is cut off?" You know, and it does stick at the back of my mind because I am like literally 2 days before they announced Stadia being scrapped. Here I am saying, "All right, now I am going to change my focus of my channel to being primarily Pixel." And you've always got that thing in the back of your head, and you're like, is that a good choice? Is Google going to sacrifice Pixel next if it doesn't quite do as they expect? So I do worry about it in the same way that, you know, when Microsoft announced the Surface Duo 2 and it's like, what, £1,400 or $1,349, and I'm like, I'd really like one. But would they sack it off within the next year or two? It makes it difficult to invest in a company and its ecosystem, its products, when they keep cancelling things, especially products that are good. Like, Stadia didn't have a problem with quality. It was just mismanaged. It just wasn't marketed right. And it really sucks when companies mess these things up so badly and don't continue them, because I think they actually do more damage to their brand in the long run, especially when they're trying to do more consumer-focused things. Microsoft's lucky that it's got Xbox. Xbox was a success. They're lucky that they have Surface still. Surface was making massive losses initially, but I think Steve Ballmer decided that he wanted to stick with it. And so they did. And it started turning a profit. I imagine if Satya Nadella had got in before Surface started turning a profit, he probably would have scrapped it. Because that's how he is. So I'm kind of, yeah, it makes me a little bit annoyed. I'm not going to lie. A little bit annoyed. Slightly annoyed. But hey ho. It's one of those things. There's not a lot we can do about it because it's, you know, Google's going to decide to do these things, as do Microsoft, as do any other company that doesn't feel that the devices that they're, or the products that they're making aren't doing well enough. But it does start to poison the mind of consumers over time. At least that's how I see it. I don't know if you guys think any differently, but what I will say is it's good that they are refunding people that have bought games, that have bought hardware. They're actually giving that money back, which I think is pretty good. But at the same time, there's developers announcing on Twitter that they didn't know. They actually didn't know. They didn't know it was shutting down. They were actively developing games, making games. Some even had games coming out in the next week. Like it is just insane. I just don't understand how they end up doing these sorts of things. It's just really, really sad to see. And it's just sad to see another great product go, to be honest. Whether or not Pixel is next, I don't see it happening. Simply because Pixel's in a much different position. And it's a product that Google really needs, to be honest. I mean, sure, you've got all the Google products, Google software available on iPhones, but I think it's definitely something they need to have in the market. And Pixels are actually increasing in market share. They're actually doing well. They've made this big investment in Tensor. I don't see Pixel really going anywhere, which is what I hope. But then I didn't feel like Stadia was necessarily going to go anywhere. But then Stadia was in a much weaker position, I would say. The Pixel is actually the best at some things, whereas Stadia I don't think was. I don't know. They weren't informed, Septian. That's the thing. They weren't informed. They were actively developing games, and then they found out when the announcement was made because Google didn't tell them. I mean, Phil Harrison's the guy who's been running it. He's one that came from Sony, who was there during the PS3 era, and the PS3 era was not very good for Sony initially. He doesn't manage things very well. I don't understand why they even got him on board, because he is terrible. Absolutely terrible. So, yeah, they made a big mistake hiring him. But what can you do? It's done now, isn't it? That's it. That is it. Something else I'm going to be talking about as well when it comes to the Pixel stuff over the next couple of weeks is in relation to the Pixel 4 XL. Yes, that old timer, let's say. So I did a video quite some time after the Pixel 6 launched. I think it was like earlier this year. I did a video of Pixel 4 XL versus the Pixel 6 and whether you should still buy one. And that video is still one of my best performing videos. It's doing really, really well. And for me, I found it really difficult because there was a lot of stuff on the Pixel 4 XL that I actually preferred to the Pixel 6. I preferred the feel of the screen. I preferred the face unlock over the fingerprint sensor. I preferred the build. I actually preferred the cameras because it had a zoom lens, which I preferred over the ultra wide. And yeah, I just felt like it was a better phone for me still over a Pixel 6, even though the Pixel 6 obviously had that extra grunt with the Tensor. I found it very difficult to choose between the 4XL and the 6. I'd switch between them constantly because I like different things about each phone. But now when it's compared to the Pixel 7, I think as long as Google actually improved the fingerprint sensor, I think it's just going to be time to upgrade. I think it's just time to upgrade. I think for me, it wasn't a straight upgrade from the 4XL to the 6. I actually did prefer the 4XL overall. The 7, I feel like, will be the time to upgrade. The 4XL is running out of software support. We got Android 13. I think it's still getting security updates, but that's going to disappear in the next, 5 months? Something like that. And then that's that. I mean, the hardware's still going to work great, so you could still use it for a while after that if you really wanted to. Which, why not? It's a 4XL. It's still fantastic if you're still happy with that battery life. But yeah, I think the 7 is the jumping off point. I think it's the the final station, I would say. But I am getting another 4XL again, because oh my god, is so fantastic. So fantastic. Just a brief chat as well. I just want to briefly talk about this. Get in focus. This 13 Pro. I'm sort of liking it. I like iOS 16. iOS 16 is quite nice with the like the lock screen change. Like that's pretty cool. I like that. I do like that. Other than that, when it comes to the hardware's nice, but it needs a case on it because it's just horrible to use without a case. It's too sharp on the edges, and yeah, just not that nice in that respect. Um, Camera seems pretty average. I'm not that impressed with the photography. We mentioned the 6A earlier. We mentioned the Pixel 6A and the photography with that 2XL sensor and stuff. I prefer that to this. Obviously, video is fantastic. That's just, goes without saying. I mean, it's an iPhone. Video is superb. I can't do the ProRes video on this because it's only the 128GB version. But overall, fairly good. I like the 120Hz screen. It doesn't feel as fast as the Xperia. It doesn't feel anywhere near as fast. Because the thing is, you've still got those really slow iPhone animations. And I feel like those animations are really... They were made for 60 Hz. Like, it's the same animations. And it just feels slow by comparison. I mean, it's nice. But the Xperia feels just lightning fast next to it. Just navigating, doing things. It's just so much easier on Android as well, in my opinion. But it's a nice phone. I can see why people like it. In fact, I'd probably say that this would be... I would probably say this would be the better buy over a 14 Pro. But there you go. I didn't mean to do that. iOS 15.5 is good enough for me. Any reasons why you don't want 16, mate? Is it because of the people talking about worse battery life, potentially? Because I've seen a few people say that. Battery life on this, I mean, again, I haven't put my SIM card in this yet. I meant to do it the other day. But I'll be putting the SIM card in this probably tomorrow. And I'm going to run it for the full week and see how it gets on. But I should also have a Pixel 6 Pro coming this week. So then I'll then switch the SIM card out into that. And we'll see what the battery life is like on that for a week. And we'll see how they compare. Obviously, the 6XL's got a bigger battery than this, but we'll compare it. See what it's like. But I like it. It's okay. I just wish the photography was nicer. I don't like the iPhone output. It's very it just seems very anemic, if that's the right wording. Everything feels very flat and muted. I did find the Pixel 6 did that sometimes as well. I don't want battery drain. Fix it now. Yeah, I can understand that, man. I can understand that. Which iPhone are you on? I can understand that. Definitely. Bloody hell's going on there? Never mind. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to give that a go this week. Obviously, my main phone for a while now has been this. The Xperia 1 Mark IV. I am loving this phone. I'm genuinely loving this phone. I got it I've had it for coming up on a month now. 12 Pro, nice. 12 Pro's not so bad, but batteries on 12s are a bit dicky. I was having an issue with this initially, because it was summer. We had like 20-degree plus temperatures. It was quite muggy and yeah, humid. And I did find that the overheating was more of an issue. Since the temperatures have dropped by like 10 degrees, I now don't have a problem. So I think the trouble with this phone is that it's going to be a problem when it's the summer. But through autumn, winter, spring, shouldn't be a problem at all. And I actually really like this phone. Honestly, I love this phone. I love this phone. It's a problem when you want to get a quick shot in low light. That's a problem. But otherwise, I honestly find it to be so good. So good. I love the 4K screen with 120 hertz. I mean, that's just insane. The zoom lens, sort of at like max zoom when you like looking at something in the distance. The photos don't come out fantastically clear, but I find that when you're using it for portrait photography, it looks fantastic. It looks really good. Colors are amazing. The video is fantastic. I haven't had a chance to try the live streaming capability yet. I was meant to do it last week when I was at EGX, and I didn't get a chance because my microphone that I had, I didn't have a mount for it, so I couldn't actually bloody stream. So yeah, UK UK experience down south weather, hot, humid, and muggy. Yeah, it was awful, man. It was awful. I hated it. I don't like hot weather anyway. I'm not built for that at all. I'm really not. But yeah, it was a bit too warm for too long. I'm going to say that much. And the Xperia did not like it at all. But I did find that once I turned off the seamless zoom. So get this, right? So seamless zoom on the Xperia is on by default, and that activates all of those three rear lenses at the same time, so you can just switch between them. Right. So I tried to record 4K 60 video with that. It lasted for about 3 minutes before it overheated and shut off. 3 minutes. When I turned seamless zoom off and I put it to just the 24mm lens, so the main sensor, did the same thing, 4K 60 video. It lasted for 17 minutes. Massive jump. Like, I do wonder sometimes if when people were testing this phone, if they had the seamless zoom on all the time, because with the seamless zoom on, it's really not good. Especially when you're in a warmer climate. It shuts down very fast. But you have got all those lenses, all those sensors activated. And I don't know why Sony did that. Sony surely would have noticed with their testing before launch that it was affecting the performance in that manner, like overheating that much. So I'm a bit confused as to why they actually did that. I'd like them to change it and just make it default to the 24mm like it always has, and then have this seamless zoom there as a feature to use optionally. But as I say, in cooler climates, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. But yeah, I could do 4K 60 video for ages. I don't even record 4K 60 video for the most part. I do 4K 30, so 17 minutes 4K 60 is going to give me even longer on 4K 30, and it's not going to be a problem. Yeah, I was really impressed with that result. And I have to say as well, while I was at EGX this last weekend, I was there for 4 days. Most of the photography that I did was on the Xperia, and that was a lot of that as well with the front camera. And we know that the front camera on the Xperia in recent years has been absolute garbage. In fact, I think the Xperia 5 II, when I first got one, I used it like once. I was like, oh no. So I just used the rear cameras. My second Xperia 5 II that I got, didn't use it at all. This one is actually good. The pictures are really, really good. It does still struggle when you've got something like a severe light. There was a point where we were sat in the audience watching a tournament, Street Fighter tournament, something like that. And me and Blam were sat there, and so I was like, let's just give these phones a try with this light and see what it's like on the front-facing cameras. Took the picture with the Xperia. It couldn't handle the light, and it couldn't balance it out right, so it just looked really... Our faces just looked really bright. Did it on... hit on Blam's iPhone 13 Pro Max. Didn't look fantastic. Did it on his Pixel 6 Pro. Looked great, but it wasn't in focus. Did it on the Nothing Phone 1. That didn't come out quite as nice as the Pixel, but it was also in focus, so it was the best shot overall. And I was just like, wow. Like, the Nothing Phone has actually taken the best front-facing camera shot in this severe light compared to all these other really expensive phones. It's crazy. It's actually really impressive. The Nothing Phone is actually really, really good in some situations. So I was really, really happy with that. Now I'm about to experience UK weather. Foggy, grey and cold. I love it. No. No. I'm not a big fan of the cold. I'm not a big fan of the hot. I'm just a typical Brit that moans about everything. It's just how we are. We're never happy. We're never happy. Guys, I don't know if you're actually interested at all in gaming stuffs, but we are going to be streaming PUBG soon, just for a laugh and having some fun. If you want to head on over to that channel there, you want to hang out with us, we're going to be streaming in just under 30 minutes, and we're going to be on for a number of hours, so if you want to come along and chill, the support would really help. And yeah, we're going to be having some drinks, squad games, PUBG, should be a good laugh. Yeah, lots of antics happening, I'm sure. It'd be good to see you there. Jimmy's having his dinner. He's having his dinner. So yeah, I'm hopefully going to hold on to the Xperia. I'm hopefully going to keep hold of that, because I think I'd be really, really sad if this went. If I had to sell this, I think I would be really, really... Yeah. I don't think I'd be happy at all. And I want a 7 Pro, don't get me wrong. I want a Pixel 7 Pro, but... If it means me getting rid of this to get it, I don't think I'd be happy with that. And I'm getting a 6 Pro. I'm getting a 6 Pro this week, so... Would I really need a 7 Pro? Probably not. I'm going to be getting a Pixel 7 on loan from Mazillion, in all likelihood, because they've mentioned loaning it to me before. Sending the Fold 3. We've got the Fold 3 right here. That's going back this week. I've got a Samsung video actually coming out. I've got some videos in the pipeline. Obviously, I've said that the channel's moving to a pixel-focused output. But I still have a few videos that I've recorded and planned that I want to get out anyway, so that I can, you know, put it all to bed sort of thing. But I've got a Samsung-related video, Samsung ecosystem video coming out next week, featuring a little bit of the Fold 3 as well. That's going back. I'm thinking that they're going to send me a Pixel 7 in replacement of this, because they sent me the Pixel 6a on launch day as well. So we'll see how that goes. And I'll compare the 7 or the 7 Pro, whatever they send me, to the Pixel 6 Pro and see how it goes. If I don't feel like the 7 really gives me much over the 6 in terms of my actual usage, then I'll just stick with the 6 Pro, and then I'll have this as well. So that for me would be a fantastic combo. That'd be a great combo, because this is my camera. I mean, I'm using the Nothing Phone right now as my camera, but this is my camera normally. And because I can use HS power control, plug it in, have the power from the laptop going into this, using it as a webcam with HS power control. Doesn't affect the battery. I don't lose any battery life. It's fantastic. Love it. Xperias are so good. More people should look at Xperias. But yeah, we've done what we've done. Just over an hour. Anything that you guys would like to talk about at all before we finish up? I've got about another 15-20 minutes before I need to get off. But we don't have to talk any further if you don't want to, but if you have anything else that you'd like to talk about, then please just pop a comment in or a question. Slayer, you get to see the 4 worst gamers attempt PUBG. Mate, speak for yourself. I'll have you know that I built my stream on PUBG. I was killer back in the day. I forgot how to play it now, but you know. I'm not sure the alcohol will help though. I don't think it's been helping me now. I feel like I've been slurring my words just on one drink. I've not even finished it. How terrible is that? So yeah, I'll be doing basically I'm going to be doing photo comparisons and things as well with the Pixel devices going forward. We're on the Alki. The plan is with the channel now moving to Pixel focused content that I will be we're still going to talk about other devices on the Grounded Tech Talk. So it's not like I'm just going to be talking only Pixel all the time. Because at the end of the day, I like all tech. I like all phones. I like different brands. And I want to talk about them. So the Grounded Tech Talks are what that's going to be for. In terms of my regular uploads, they are all going to be focused on Pixel. But that could be, you know, Pixel 7 versus another phone in a photo comparison or whatever else. And that way it's still Pixel content. So Mazillion, who have been sending me phones out, they're pretty good company here in the UK if you are looking for used phones, refurbished, that sort of thing. They're very, very good to look at. I think you get like a 2-year warranty and stuff. And yeah, they check everything as well before the sellers pass it on to them, before they pass it on to you. So it's sort of like a cross between like a back market or something like that and eBay. So it's pretty good. They're still going to be sending me phones out, other phones after the Pixel as well. So we'll have plenty to compare to and talk about. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else there is that's coming up this year in terms of phone releases, but there's not really, other than Pixel. I think that's probably about it. I know that Xiaomi's got their 12T stuff coming out soon. 12T? Yeah, 12T. There's been rumors of Sony having a Pro I sequel. I don't see it happening, but who knows? We might see something. I mean, I'd be very, very jealous if they did. I'm kind of hoping they were going to leave that till next year, in all honesty. Because next year I will replace this with the Mark V or the next Pro I if they do release that. And I also want that Xperia stream. I don't know if anybody saw my video on the Xperia stream, just to do with the announcement. But that attachment looks really compelling, and I really want to try it. It looks super cool. No pun intended. No pun intended. It looks great. Right. I think we'll probably leave it there, guys. I appreciate all of you for hanging out. I really do. We're going to be doing this again next week because, obviously, Pixel 7. Duh. Vivo X90. Ooh. Ooh, that'd be good. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I want to know about that. I'd love a Vivo. So, we'll be on next week. Duh. Cheers, Barry. I appreciate you hanging, man. Even whilst driving. Legend. obviously, we're just going to be talking all Pixel 7 next week, I think. I don't think there's going to be much else to talk about. I don't think we spoke about the Pixel tablet, but we can always do that next week. I imagine they're going to be talking about that at the event as well. Rumored to be using the first generation Tensor, which I think would be perfectly fine. Not going to be too expensive. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping we'll have a surprise or two. I mean, it's just it's the software surprises I'm looking forward to as well. Like, I want to see what they've got in store software wise, because that is what makes a Pixel. So yeah, you call with just Pixel 7, no complaints from me. Yeah, boy. Well, we're definitely going to be talking about that. It's going to be an interesting event, I think. I will likely stream when the event is live. I don't know if we're allowed to rebroadcast, but I will probably stream the event, either live reaction or whatever else. If I can actually play the event on stream, then I will. So I'll try to do that. We'll do a live reaction anyway, so I will be on when the event is live if you want to come in and just talk. Mr. Riverwind, we will see if Pixel 7 has a real improvement over the 6. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be massive improvements. I think it's just going to be the Tensor for the most part. Maybe the fingerprint reader, battery life, radios, those sorts of things. So we'll have to see, Mr. Riverwind. Appreciate you popping in, though. Good to see you. I didn't actually, Jimmy, I didn't see the... well, I did see briefly the new Amazon devices. There was a new Kindle that was that had a sort of pen functionality, I think it was. And looked very nice. Yes. Ultrasonic fingerprint, please. Yeah, we need it. I think it definitely needs it. I think the 6 and the 6A, it's just not good enough. I genuinely, it was the worst part about the 6 for me, was the fingerprint reader. And that's partly why I kept going back to the 4XL. So I genuinely hope that they sort that out. I really want them to. By the sounds of it, if they're keeping the majority of the other specs the same, then hopefully that means that the prices of those parts have fallen a little bit, so they can then afford to add something like an ultrasonic fingerprint reader. But we'll see. Hell, I'd be happy if they just added a good optical reader that actually worked. But yeah, ultrasonic, please. That would be great. Yes, the Scribe. I had Scribe in my mind, but I didn't actually blurt it out. There was some new Echoes and things as well, right? I don't tend to follow the Amazon hardware stuff that much because I don't really use it. I've got an Amazon Fire Cube with the TV downstairs. That's probably the only Amazon device I've got in the house. It's good though. I mean, it's good. It's a lot better than using the built-in software on the TV. Which, admittedly, the TV that we've got is very out of date now, so, it is a bit slow. But I have a Sony Bravia TV on the way. That's just because it was the free gift with my Xperia. So that's probably going to replace the TV downstairs, and then the one downstairs is going to end up in our bedroom because at the minute we're redoing things. We're getting the bedroom redone in terms of new wardrobes and whatever else. We're getting the garden done. So there's quite a few things we're getting done, and then the TV is going to come from downstairs to upstairs, and the Bravia is going to go downstairs. So that'd be nice to have a new TV. The worst for me was optical fingerprint reader and the selfie cam. The quality from the selfie was so poor compared to rear cameras. I mean, selfie cameras are always going to be quite poor compared to the rear cameras anyway, because there's just really not that much space there in the front for those cameras a lot of the time. But I have to say, like, the 6 Pro definitely had a better camera than the 6. It'd be nice if the 6 got the same one as the 7 got the same one as the 7 Pro in the front cam. That would be great. Like Sony upgraded the front cam on these on the Xperia 1.4, and it's actually really really good now. I actually really liked it. So yeah, having a decent front camera does help sometimes, but I've got so used to taking pictures with the rear cameras, like selfies and stuff. But yeah, the front camera's always there. It's always nice to have it there for ease of use. It's just more convenient sometimes just to be able to frame it easier. So yeah, I think it'd be nice. It'd be nice for a Pixel to have that. I think if they're going after the more casual consumer, the more, what should we say, fashionable consumers, I feel like they're going towards that crowd a little bit, trying to go for the iPhone type crowd. They need things to work very well with social media apps and things, and a lot of people do use those front-facing cameras. So Google's already got that improved compatibility with apps like Instagram and Snapchat and things. So it'd be good for them to improve that front-facing camera to make use of it a bit better. But we'll see what happens. We've not got long to wait. We've not got long to wait. Yeah, Echo Dot, I think 4th gen, which also acts as a booster for the Aero, which is great. I don't think we get the Aero, do we? Is the Aero something that the UK gets? It's Billtober. Billtober? What's Billtober? I thought we get bills every month. And the Amazon Halo Rise. What the hell's the Halo Rise? I really should look at this stuff more. It's, can tell my voice is good a little bit now. Oh, we do. We do get it. Okay. The Halo Rise sounds interesting. I'll have to look at that. I'll definitely have to look at that. Very good. Right, guys. Time to wrap up. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate you dropping a like on the stream. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We're trying to, this month, we're trying to really push the channel forward. Would love to have you along for the ride. It's going to be a good one. I will be streaming on my Air Guys TV channel very shortly, in 10 minutes. We're playing some PUBG, and you're going to see a lot of trash gameplay, many laughs, and we're probably going to be a little bit drunk. So if you would like to go over there, I'll pop a link in the chat again for you. Right there. I really appreciate you guys for hanging out. It's been good. It's been nice to chat a little bit, which I haven't done for a little while. We will be back through the week, as I say, live for the Pixel event. Might be able to rebroadcast it, we'll see. But I'll be doing live reaction anyway. We'll be back next weekend with another Grounded Tech Talk around the same time. So we'll be on for about 7:30 p.m. Saturday. And we'll be talking all things Pixel 7. It's going to be good. But until then, take it easy. If you haven't already, as I say, you can jump across my socials as well. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. All Grounded Tech. So hit me up, follow me there. Let's have a conversation. And take it easy, stay safe, stay grounded. And I will see you all very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. Bye-bye.